part one of the audio build for the car. At least not technically part one, because I already did the pillars and the speakers. The speakers are all installed. But part one from now is getting rid of this old Alpine head unit. So, you know, when you change the source, you gotta redo the tune. So I want CarPlay. I plan on using a Beacon 2 as well for the for streaming, but I do want CarPlay, and so I'm gonna go and get a Sony 6000, and I'm going to put that in today, and then reset gains and all that jazz. Here's a quick before of the wiring. I already chopped the old harness off, but it was not taped up. It was, I mean, the connections were taped, but it was just, you know, tape here. So I'm gonna see how I can clean this up and make this installation final for this vehicle. We got it mounted in the dash kit, and some people might say this is overkill, but I got a little bit of butyl packed in on the edges, just where this dash kit kind of comes together on the top and the bottom, because it was kind of squeaking, you know, around, and I'm sure you'll probably never hear it, but well, it took me 10 seconds. I made my own Y adapter for the mono sub of the Sony to the RCAs that are already in here. Here is the harness for the radio, and then over to the speaker wires. I had this for the reverse for when I do add a backup camera, not yet, but yeah. Ever since I've owned this car, this has bothered me. Up here in this hole, the rattling of it. I've always heard it, and it also rattles up in there, so I'm going to address all those while I have the radio out. The audio cut out on this clip, so you see I put butyl on the front where it goes onto the dash, on the back, on both spots where the little back part is for the plug, and then also where it goes to that little... Now, I'm not sure this is going to work or not, so that's why I have it electrical taped, just in case it doesn't work, I can just take it back off. But this is my factory mic location, and I took it apart. I mounted the aftermarket one in here, and I'm gonna see if I can get it, and it hopefully it picks up okay. If not, then I'll move it to where it needs to go. But yeah, it did not work. I'm gonna have to move it, or I think I'm actually going to get a Maestro Mic 1 and see if I can hardwire that. Program it, hardwire that to work for the microphone, because I really don't want the microphone like the headliner. And then I'm planning on doing the headliner black as well to match the pillars. And then when I do that, I'll just buy like a new center console, like little dome light thing that's already black, like from an STI, to fix all that, because I tried to make a call. And it was like, so don't try it. I tried it for the both of us. Here is all done. GPS, remote control for the steering wheels, RCAs, microphone, USB. I had to use an adapter to go to the Type-C. I might change that out. And then the power harness. These RCAs will get cleaned up. I'm going to swap those out when I do the system. I put a little bit of like closed cell foam in here. I also sound deadened up here to kind of solidify that. And then I put a little bit of closed cell foam over top of it. So I deadened all this up here and kind of got that tapped in. And then, yeah, that's it. Final touches is I wrap some Tessa tape around here. So that this wouldn't rattle in those clips anymore, on each one of these little tabs and on all of my clips. So that's it. It took me around 3 hours start to finish, a little bit longer for like a radio install, but I did take the clock piece out and sound deadened up behind that clock thing where I, as far as I could reach. And then on top of the radio, and the foam and whatnot. So it was a little extra time getting that out of there and working that in. I took extra time to heat shrink all the connections and use the TechFlex compared to like a Tesla tape. And so I just took a little extra care, a little extra time. Like the remote wire for the steering wheel controls, like that didn't need to be like have the loom on it really, but it was in my passenger seat, so I was like, yeah, why not? So yeah, that's part one. Next, next on the list, I have to buy everything, which is coming up soon, and then I'm going to probably start with sound deadening the roof. I'm gonna get the roof all sound deadened, pretty intensely, and then wrap the headliner black, and then it's gonna be like all in the trunk, full audio. The rest of the audio stuff's gonna be in the trunk somewhere. And then I'll run new RCAs. I have 4Connect RCAs. I got the Stage 4. I got them at like dealer costs, so they weren't too bad. It was $85 for the pair. Pretty pricey, I know, but they're dealer costs. And I'm just gonna run the fronts in. So fronts in, the powers this split all off to the rest of the DSP. Because I'm gonna be using mainly the Beacon too, I think, because I should be able to use all my steering controls except for volume. I should still be able to use seek, track, and mute and all that. Well, maybe not mute either, but seek and track and yeah, I should be able to use that still. So maybe I'll reroute one to pause instead of like one of the button to pause instead of mute. That way, I can do that and it'll work for the Beacon too, like a mute button. I know it's kind of funny. I bought $85 RCAs to use them mainly for phone calls. But well, I feel like if I had any issues whatsoever, I would have been kicking myself in the ass. So this way, I know for sure spend a little extra money, and I won't have to worry about it at all. So yeah, I think that's it for now. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I think everything else. I'll see you when I get more shit. Bye.